Everybody, this your boy Zoe Pound and welcome to Just for Kicks, and today we're going to be doing story time. The story we reading is about the Masked Miners, a group of miners who dared to mine in the most famous Mackinac mine. Mackinac mine is a mine located west of the Zumba island. Legend tells that it is a gem worth a gazillion dollars and its miners have been trying to strike ever since. Characters: John, a miner of the Masked Miners; Antoine, another member of the Masked Miners; Zap, another member of the Masked Miners. All have one thing in common: get to the goal by any means. All of them had families to feed. They were friends, but when it came to the mine, they were brothers. They didn't let each other get that far in the mine without the other being close by. They knew they worked a dangerous job, so they kept the rope across the belt line just in case one would go too far and have to pull through it. Visiting. The Masked Miners went to visit the mine and scope out the place. The mine holding abused by a lot of previous miners, so they knew they had to be gentle to get the best parts. They heard rumors about the gazillion-dollar gem and wanted to make their move. They sang songs as they mined, say the calmer the mine was, the calmer they was. In the beginning of the tunnel there was sparks flying, but still nothing worth keeping. Zap, the youngest member of the Masked Miners, was quick to swing his picks. The oldest miner, John, was explaining that if that mine was hit too hard, it should be a big blow up and they could all lose their lives. Antoine made the blueprint and stayed as this. Rain, rain, go away, come again another day, was the song John was humming as they was mining this dangerous mine. The name just kinda scares me, Mackinac mine. Thinking it could be days before they reached the very end of the tunnel. Zap felt lucky he would find that gem in just a couple strokes of his picks, not realizing that if he listened closely to John mumbling, he could find a rhythm to better guide him with the mining project. As he swung his picks, he picked up scraps of gold to hit the floor. Nothing like that gazillion-dollar gem though. Antoine stayed to himself most of the time with a picture of his family in his wallet. He stared at him every time he felt he was in danger. Day 2, as they reached the quarter mark of the blueprint, they had lights plugged up and cords running through the tunnel. The Mackinac mine was more than just a tunnel. It had feelings and emotions, like a living organism. Getting too close just gave the body chills. I get goosebumps just thinking about it. You can still see holes in the walls where the last miner tried but failed. Going into the dark spot of the mine was kinda intimidating, but anything to get the job done. Day 3. The third day of mining in the Mackinac mine, and the miners were all set to start their journey, picking off where they had left off. They were just past a quarter of the mine and still haven't seen that gem. Antoine, the one who stayed to himself, felt that they was close to it. John, the oldest member of the Mackinac miners, all they did was what was best for the team. Zap, my personal favorite, always wanted to get straight to business. As they got closer to the deepest depth of the tunnel, the ceiling was leaking water, so you had to watch where you stepped. So now they were tiptoeing. Ever heard the saying, walking on thin ice? The blueprint. John always wanted to do things according to the blueprint. He hated when other members would go out of plans. Antoine's main focus was to make it back home. All he thought was his family and making the day's pay. Zap in the mine non-stop, strike after strike with his pick. The rocks was chipping kinda easy because of the leaking water. I guess the rain from the other night kinda set it off. But it was nearly missed, said Zap. Talking to the mine, that always had on the inside. Day 4. If the mine was treated right, then it'll always give something back. That's what Antoine thought. Antoine usually kept his thoughts to himself, but didn't say much to the zine. Zap made a joke and said, wondered if it snowed, but they still had to work in the mine. They were still facing leaking water that was messing up the equipment. You can tell by the tunnel was getting weakened. Day 5. John came up with the method, him being the brains of the operation. He said once one piece go up, you want to see another one coming down. It'll help gain more of a rhythm. Zap was finally getting the swing of things. Antoine always had rhythm with his swings. He was just doing his job regular, and all of a sudden he seen a purple stone shining bright as the lights. He went to dig it out, and as soon as he got that gem in his hand, there were zap picks coming down. Boom! The legend of the Mackinac mine was destroyed, and so was the Masked Miners. The Zumba Island. The Zumba Island is a remote control island. The people on the Zumba Island believed in cannibalism. It's a way to feed the body and the brain. LOL. I guess you can say it's brain food. They had many traditions like dancing around a campfire praising the great sun god. The Zumba island was named after the Zumba tribe and their story should live on. The Zumba tribe is a group of warriors that was experts at hunting. One day the Zumba tribe was going on a hunt and seeing a herd of animals coming their way. But before they could lift their crossbows, bows was already in the air coming from another tribe. So the Zumba tribe went back for shelter. The Zumba son Zoe was interested and wanted to find out more about this other tribe. So he went back to where they was hunting and followed their tracks. He just so happened to stumble across their stomping ground. He went to go catch fish so he can offer them a peaceful dinner. Hunting. When the Zuba's son Zoe was young, he learned how to fish. All he had was his spear and a bucket on his left forearm. He was at the shallow part of the lake, and every time he seen a fish, he would hurry up and take a jab at them before they swam away. But patience is key. He always knew how to take out land animals with his crossbow. The way he used his crossbow was to put a venomous frog at the end of the bow, and just like a bullet, he'll fire, and the venom do the rest. Approaching. As Zumba's son Zoe was approaching the other tribe land, he brought dinner. They introduced themselves as the Mackin tribe. They was eating their food. Zumba's son Zoe seen one of their tribe daughter, Sierra. He introduced himself and they started taking walks together. They used to meet at the top of a mountain and kiss, so that mountain was very sacred to them. Hearing about it, the Mackin brothers found out about the walk Zumba's son Zoe was taking with their sister and didn't like it so much. One day he brought them fish for dinner. They got in an altercation, and Zumba's son Zoe was told to never come back. He returned to his tribe to tell the news to his tribe brothers. He was going back to see Sierra, but this time he would be caught an intruder. They had traps set just in case, but that didn't stop him from going to get one last kiss. And that's all we got for Just for Kicks. This is Zopal. Catch y'all later.